Hello everyone, I'm Lalit Singh. So now we have looked at how exactly we can create our very basic app, how exactly we can include views, how exactly we can handle our views. So next we're going to take a look at activities and intents. We have already been through what exactly activity is. The whole screen which we see on your Android device is known as activity. So now we are going to go even deeper to understand what exactly or how exactly the mechanism of activity works inside the Android. So in this session, we're going to cover about activity, how we define the activities, how intent are helpful in invoking the activities, how exactly we can transfer data between two activities. So all this is going to cover in this session. So first of all, what exactly is an activity? Activity is an application component, which we discussed. It's one of the application component. Last we discussed there were 4: activity, service, broadcast receiver, and content provider. So activity is an application component, and whatever you see on your screen, all the UI which we saw in our last applications, they all were presented by the mechanism, or they all were presented by a class activity. So an activity comprises of two things: a Java class and a UI, or that is a layout, right? So activity can be shown as a part of application screen itself, or it can be a floating activity, that is, it is in the background. If I have to give you an example, whenever you drag your notification bar, you see your activity is still in the background. So that notification bar is now what? It's floating over your another activity. So activity is what? Activity is whatever you see on your screen. It can be a complete window, it can be a floating window, and basically under the hood, it's a class with a UI. So what exactly activity can do? Well, if you are designing an application for e-commerce, then you can design an activity to place the orders. If you are designing an application of social app, chatting app, then you can design an activity to create a chat room, right? So all the other UI components which we just saw in our previous session, buttons, text views, scroll views, so they all are being also presented to the screen with the help of activity only. Until unless there is no activity, you can't even see all those UI components. So activity is the activity under the hood is responsible for displaying your whole UI. So activity has a life cycle.